Hi guys, welcome back. So in this breath breakdown video, I'd like to talk about Dirgha Pranayama, or the three-part breath. So this is kind of the basic yoga breath. This is a foundational breath. It's one of the first ones I learned in yoga class, in yoga teacher training. For a good reason. It is an incredibly powerful tool to know in your life. Whether or not you ever plan on actually going to a yoga class, this is a great kind of addition to your life. It's just a way of breathing, so you can do this anytime, anywhere. As long as you're breathing, you can practice this and gain the benefits of it. So those benefits include, this is a very calming breath. So it's a great breath to practice just kind of all the time, but also in times of stress or anxiety, when you're in that kind of fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system response. This breath will literally switch gears into the parasympathetic nervous system, into what's called the rest and digest. You'll be able to reason and stay calm in stressful moments with the help of this breath. Because this breath utilizes the entire lung rather than a small portion that we may be breathing into habitually throughout our day, it helps to create more health in the lungs. It helps to strengthen the diaphragm. The diaphragm, which is what's actually helping you to breathe. Of course, the lungs are just kind of bringing air in and letting it out. The diaphragm is actually doing the work. So it helps to strengthen the diaphragm. And anytime we breathe more fully, more completely, our whole body is benefiting. Our lungs are not the only thing that need oxygen, expel carbon dioxide. I mean, our cells, every cell in our body needs this exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And so the more oxygen we bring in, the more carbon dioxide we can send out, the more health we gain in our body on a cellular level. So this is actually a much more powerful kind of detoxer than doing an intense twist, because it's the breath that's actually doing kind of the cleansing, so to speak. That's another video, but So with any breathing practice, you can find a comfortable seat. You can do this particular practice laying down if you wanted to. You can do it standing, like I said. You can do it in line at the grocery store while you're cooking or doing chores or at work. This is an anytime kind of breath. But for this video, just get comfortable in a seat, laying down. You don't necessarily have to be watching me, so you can get cozy in any way you like. So like I said, this is called the three-part breath. So we're going to break down those three parts and then kind of put them back together. So the first part is breathing into the belly. Now, of course, you're not literally breathing into the belly, but I want you to visualize breathing kind of down towards the belly. So what I like to do is bring a hand to the belly. As you inhale, imagine that hand is a magnet for the breath. So as you inhale, let the belly open, let the belly fill with breath. Let it all hang out. There is nothing to suck in or be ashamed of here. Just let the belly fill with as much breath as is comfortable. As you exhale, feel the belly button draw towards the spine. Not in a not in this kind of way, very intense, but just, feeling that movement of the belly button towards the spine, just to help get all of that air out. Inhale, breathe into the belly, let it expand. Exhale, belly button towards spine. Just take a couple more breaths like that. And this may be where you're comfortable. And you can start just breathing into the belly, taking these belly breaths, because these will start to slow the breath down, start to deepen it. So if you find the rest of these parts aren't really working for you yet, stick with the belly breath and then slowly add on the rest. So at the bottom of your next exhale, you can release the hand. The next part of the breath is breathing into kind of the midsection of the body, into the ribs. So again, you can bring a hand to the front of the ribs, you can bring the hands to the sides of the ribs, cross them over, whatever feels less awkward. And again, imagining that hand as a magnet. As you inhale, send the breath into the ribs. You will most likely feel the ribs kind of expand open a little bit. And then as you exhale, they'll come back down. Inhale into the ribs. Feel the ribs kind of flare open as the lungs fill with air. And as you exhale, let them relax in as the lungs empty. You can take a couple more just to get a feel for it. And this might feel really awkward at first. That's okay. Just keep practicing. Nice. Now at the bottom of your next exhale, again, release the hands. The final part is breathing up into the chest. Now, for a lot of people, and I know for me when I first started practicing this breath, this is where I experienced the most constriction. It was really kind of impossible to breathe up into the chest. But as I've practiced this breath, as the lungs have opened, I find it much more comfortable now. So again, if you've experienced that, let it be. It's okay. With practice, these areas of the lungs will open up. Or not. And then you stay with whatever works for you. It's all good. So bringing a hand to the chest. This is a much more kind of subtle experience because, there's not as much lung up here as down here. So as you inhale, again, hand is a magnet. See if you can bring the breath into the upper chest towards the collarbones. Not that you won't feel the breath lower in the body, of course, but just see if you can kind of bring it up. Beautiful. So again, at the bottom of your next exhale, you can release the hands. So now we're going to bring these together. And like I've said, kind of throughout these three parts, if any of these areas aren't really happening today, that's okay. You can start again with those belly breaths. Maybe just a 2-part breath is what's working for you, breathing into the belly and into the ribs. So you can take and choose what works for you today. But again, I invite you to really practice this with the 3 parts in mind so that eventually that becomes comfortable and accessible. So the idea here with adding these 3 parts together is breathing into the belly, then letting that breath fill into the ribs, and then into the chest. And then exhaling, emptying from the chest through the ribs to the belly. So it's almost like you're filling and emptying a glass of water, which, maybe isn't the best metaphor for breathing, but is what I got. So you're filling from the bottom up and emptying from the top down. So to practice, again, you can use the hands if you like, or you can just let them rest in the lap. I like to bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest. Inhale and start to feel that belly expand. Let the breath fill up towards the ribs. Maybe they flare open. Maybe the breath comes up into the chest. And then exhale, chest. Let the ribs collapse in. Let the belly button draw towards the spine to help get that air out. And then again, inhale, filling the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Take 3 more rounds. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. For the next couple, you can close your eyes if you like. Follow your own rhythm. You can keep the hands on the body. You can relax the hands down on the lap. And again, with no rush to get there, at the bottom of your next exhale, let go of that breath. Let the breath kind of return to a natural rhythm, an automatic rhythm. And notice if you feel anything. What is your experience? Did that make sense? Did that feel super awkward? Whatever the experience was for you, just kind of notice it. No judgment, no good or bad, no pass or fail. Promise. So I hope that this breakdown was helpful. Like I said, this is an extremely powerful practice. So I invite you to practice it. Sprinkle it in throughout your day. Whenever you think of it, take a 3-part breath or 2 or 3. Or maybe you want to start a breathing practice, a dedicated breathing practice in your day. Take 1 minute, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you'd like to sit or lay down or get comfortable and focus on practicing this breath. And notice what effect that might have on your life, on your stress levels, on how you deal with stress, on how you deal with stressful situations, and just in general, how you feel in your body, in your mind, in your heart. If you have any questions, comments, any helpful suggestions, if this is something that you practice, any tips, tricks, leave them below in the comments section. You can like this video if you liked it, subscribe below if you'd like to stay up to date with this channel, and feel free also to leave me any requests if there are any breathing practices, any yoga postures that you'd like me to break down, explain. If there are any other kind of yoga-y, life, mind, emotional well-being sort of topics that you would like me to talk about, I would be more than happy to do that for you. So you can leave all that in the comments section below, and I will see you in the next one. Namaste.